this hour to you to go to the events platform, register for this session, and post your questions, as we will have plenty of time with our experts later today in this hour.
It's important to point out, people may have found us through Twitter or active there, or maybe the YouTube channel, and you can ask questions in that chat, but you won't have a direct access to the experts. So if you want to load up the questions that we'll read later on our tablets for Michael and Philip, please throw those in about any of the subjects you see in this hour, and if they can address it, they will. We're going to push all these questions out to them from the event platform. So happy to have you watch us on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever you found us, but come to the SAP event platform and register. I want to also point out, while we had a minute, that I'm so happy to be on stage with you in person. And I feel lucky because we feel like we're at Tech Ed. And I hope the energy that we're giving out, that we're excited to be in person, is real. We're here. We've been here for well over a week now preparing. We get tested every day, so we get tested for any chance of having COVID. Everybody here, and thank you to everybody supporting us. Everybody here is going through such a process to make us look good. So we're very lucky to be on stage, and we realize that, and we hope that you enjoy seeing our guests. While they are remotely on the wall, they're very tightly connected to us, and we think you're going to enjoy the Q&A session and the chat with them as well.
Great that you point that out. If you haven't seen it, Josh has posted a blog post about our Channel 1 moderation, which was very personal, and I really can resonate to it. So if you want to feel a little bit what's it like to be staying on this side, I'd say I'm nervous. Josh says he's not nervous, but excited.
Excited, honored. And
honored. I'm also excited and honored.
Maybe the nerves are more about letting people down. As I mentioned, so many people are supporting us. There's so many people that go into putting on this event. And from Daniela, who's tolerated every bad joke that I've made, you are used to me, you've known me for years, but other people are just getting used to the fact that I think I'm funny, I may not be funny. So anyway, thank you all for your support.
Yeah, let's start with this hour.
Yeah, let's go to the, what we want to do here is, this is going to be a strategy talk from Michael and Philip, and it deals with how in real life you have integration challenges with all the different technologies out there. So it's a very good strategy talk. I've lived this life of trying to talk to different cloud systems and integrate them, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let's roll the video.
Welcome to Channel 1 at Tech Ed 2021. My name is Michael Ameling, and with me today is Philipp Herzig. And within the next hour, we will talk about integration in the context of the intelligent enterprise. In the next 50 minutes, we will talk about integration across our 4 leading end-to-end business processes, which are the foundation for you to run an intelligent enterprise. We also will look at it more holistically, meaning on the one hand side, we have the business process integration and we have the technical integration, and this together allows us to define a truly integrated intelligent suite. Now, with a short recap, I can tell that we continuously deliver towards our promise. And you might remember that in the beginning of 2020, we rolled out SAP's integration strategy and delivered also a roadmap towards our integration efforts. This includes topics like user experience, security, or lifecycle management, and many, many more. We also considered that in your system landscapes, we have very heterogeneous systems, and we need to be open. And I can proudly tell that we have now more than 13,700 customers who run SAP Integration Suite for SAP to SAP and SAP to non-SAP integration. And in 2021, SAP is again named as leader in the Magic Quadrant from Gartner for Enterprise iPaaS solutions. What an achievement, and also tells us that the recognition of integration, so SAP's integration suite and our integration efforts, how crucial it is for our customers in their digital journey. But now let's have a look at some recent highlights in the journey of integration. Philipp, how about some integration highlights?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. And let's talk about, for example, the SAP Mobile Start application as one clear highlight that we delivered already in August earlier this year. With SAP Mobile Start, we provide an all-new, beautiful native application experience that combines on your mobile phone all the applications of SAP in one single place. with, for sure, also the recent innovations that are provided by the operating systems on today's smartphones. It's a beautiful application where you can launch all the applications of S4HANA, of SuccessFactors, of Ariba, Concur, and others, many, many more, and also using the latest notification features, widgets features, etc. But it's not only a technical application where we combine everything for the first time in a single place. It is also an application where we are rethinking the entire user experience of SAP. We did massive user research across industries personas where we really tailor the content you find in this application for our customers in professional services, in retail, in warehouse management, in manufacturing, in the back office, in finance for financial managers, and many, many more. And we have a full-blown roadmap of further tailored content for even more industries that we will reveal over the course of next year. That towards the user experience, but also on the business process level, we did so much. Last year, for example, at TechEd, we released the first time really in all the products across S4HANA Cloud, SuccessFactors, and Fieldglass, total workforce management. This year, we brought it also to on-prem. So with S4HANA 2021, it's great that we now can enjoy the full integration across SuccessFactors on-prem and Fieldglass with total workforce management. And we delivered more innovations there, such as the evaluate receipt settlement, process variant, in source to pay. We already last year delivered the full integration with Ariba network, guided buying, sourcing, and contracting for the cloud. And earlier this year, provided with the respective feature packs, also the integration to on-premise. Earlier this year, we also released a solution order with BRIM and CPQ, now also for products in S4HANA, so that you can not only combine subscriptions, classical sales order services, now also products under a single solution order for mixed selling and buying. And there's so much more. But why don't you, Michael, actually also talk not just about the function and the features that we're providing, which we are for sure very proud to talk about, but also on the quality side of bringing our applications closer together. We have great new highlights to share with you.
Thanks, Philipp. And yeah, let me talk about the suite qualities, which are basically there to deliver consistent and harmonized experience across the end-to-end business processes, which Philipp mentioned. Let me take two examples. The one is the SAP Task Center. You as an end user, you want to have an experience where you have one single entry point where you manage all your workflow tasks in your daily job. And in the middle of this year, we released the Early Adopter Care Program for SAP Task Center, which exactly serves this need for the end users. And it comes with all the qualities behind. So using the services of the SAP Business Technology Platform, like an identity management, the security capabilities, and the like, to deliver one single entry point for all workflow tasks. As the next one, I want to mention the embedded analytics. Of course, we are aware that next to integrated processes, we need first-class analytics to deliver insights and actions of your enterprise data across your system landscapes. And I can proudly say that we have now integrated SAP Analytics Cloud in S4HANA Cloud, in SAP SuccessFactors, in SAP Fieldglass, and even more, we just finished the beta phase of the embedded SAP Analytics Cloud in SAP Concur. So great examples how we deliver on the suite qualities, as we already talked about last year at TechEd. Another great example I would like to highlight is the SAP Business Hub. We completely relaunched the SAP Business Hub to provide a much better user experience, improve the search, and most important, added a lot of new content. So we have now, and give you some facts, more than 2,700 APIs documented in SAP Business Hub, all available in a free web presence. We have now more than 500 events already documented. And when it comes to the integration, we have the integration packages. So more than 2,100 integration packages are already available. And last but not least, Philipp mentions the end-to-end business processes. So as reference architecture, we provided more than 200 blueprints, so which you can use to see how to run an intelligent enterprise. So great examples on that side, but how is it on the customer? How is it adopted? Because we want to provide immediate value. So Let me give 2 examples or 3 examples even, which we have at TechEd, which I would like to highlight. First is Nestle. So we have a session here on where you can see how Nestle is using the integration and openness in the context of S/4HANA. Even more, we have Mod Pizza, who already uses all these integration efforts in the context of connecting people in the intelligent enterprise. And last but not least, also in Channel 1, later on, you will see Fielmann, how they make use of the integration solution advisory methodology to define their integration strategy and benefit from all the integration efforts. So very great examples, which I would recommend to watch, how customers are already using the integration efforts and all the deliveries already today. With that, I would like to hand over back to Philipp to talk more about rethink your integration. What does this mean, Philipp?
Thanks a lot, Michael. These are great examples of what our customers are doing with all the great things that we are building and breathing day in and day out. So a key question that we always receive is, hey, how can I actually benefit from all that SAP is just delivering also in the future? And that is why this rethink is also, it's actually not about rethinking integration in itself, but now given that we have all those foundational aspects delivered as part of the intelligent enterprise, we can actually now rethink integration to be an innovation driver with all the great things that we have on our fully loaded roadmaps that are about to come also next year as we are continuing with this. But here's a clear call to action also for you, because in order to benefit from all those innovations and integrations even more in the future, it's necessary that you take action within your IT landscapes, for example. I'll give you one simple example, identity management. We have now brought the common identity model of SAP identities users across our solutions with the identity and authentication service and identity provisioning service, IaaS for short. And we know for sure that you have an existing up and running identity management system in your IT landscape, that's for sure. But we need to bring those services now together, the IaaS service as a prerequisite to harmonize the identity in our applications and bring this together with your existing user's identity management system, for example. The same holds true for master data integration with the now MDI, Master Data Integration Service, that we use for an out-of-the-box integration service with the one domain model to transfer this out of the box between our applications. So that's one part where you need to think and rethink your integration approach. Number 2 is for sure, in particular with our hybrid and on-prem customers, you also need to really think about how you can upgrade to the latest version of SAP S/4HANA to really benefit from the latest innovations. That on the one hand side goes together with how to keep the systems almost or preferably modification free so that you can upgrade much faster. There are a lot of talks about the extensibility strategy of SAP at this TechEd. And at the same time, really upgrade the systems and plan this into your IT schedules so that you can really benefit from this as well. Because both together, the technology side and the application side, with the exception that in the cloud for sure, it always runs on the latest, we need to bring this together to help your customer, your lines of businesses, your business departments to really run smarter, run faster, whatever they need to do to run at their best in their business. So that leads to the question, okay, all good, but where do I learn where I can start with that? So here are 5 key resources which I believe are tremendously useful. We have seen already with the customer Fielmann, they're using this integration and solution advisory method to plan for their integration approaches. You can check it out very easily here. The CIO guide will help you as a decision maker in your company to decide on what is the right integration approach, which technologies facilitate this integration approach, and much more. With RISE with SAP, we have even a dedicated offering in place that provides business transformation as a service with all the great business knowledge that SAP has gathered from many customers across industries towards your business, and we can help with a lot of recommendation and best practices. But we don't only have papers and other offerings there, we also have clear hands-on opportunities. And one clear thing I recommend to all of you, get your hands dirty. We have now the all across BTP free tier model available where you can ask your developers to just sign up, check out some of the services that I've just mentioned to get a feeling how they work, how they could be integrated with your existing IT landscape, and really try it. And based on the pay-as-you-go model that we have in place, the sky is basically the limit. You can start really small and grow as the business demands more. So all the flexibility is in your hands. And finally, on the BTP, we also are gathering all the use cases, the best practices, the patterns we see of other customers using the BTP already. We assembled in the so-called SAP Discovery Center. The SAP Discovery Center is one single place where you can check out, based on a certain problem, what is the right approach on the BTP together with our applications, so that you can really learn from the best and from the experience of others how to actually do the same for your business as it applies. So Michael, why don't you wrap us up on this session and what customers should really take from this session?
Yes, Philipp, indeed, a lot of updates, highlights, and also even more further to come. Let me try to summarize it short and crisp. So first, integration is a basis for innovation. And you will see a lot of other sessions during TechEd, how integration simplifies your basically journey to run an intelligent enterprise. Secondly, we keep our promise and we are fully committed to continue to simplify your integration experience in every way we can. So SAP to SAP integration and SAP to non-SAP integration. And thirdly, and I think Philipp wrapped it up very good, right? So you can start your personal integration journey already today. Right. You will see some custom examples later on in Channel 1 and beyond, but there's also a call to action to you to upgrade your system landscape. So take advantage of the latest technology stack and update your systems. This is it from my side. And of course, big thank you for watching. Enjoy all the other sessions during TechEd. And with that, I say thank you and enjoy TechEd.
Hey, and welcome back. Thanks for watching. We're here with the Integrated Intelligence Suite topic. What's next, Josh?
My next coffee. I think it's more comfortable down here to sit at the table. Where are we, Developer
lab.
Lab, yeah. So we changed rooms. We were upstairs earlier, wherever we were. Now we're down here. I'm relaxing with a coffee. And I'm looking forward to the next segment, which is going to be, before that though, we have Q&A later, so please put your questions in to the tool, because Michael and Philipp are going to join us. That was a great video we just watched with a lot of content, but give them some hard questions. These guys are ready for you. So throw any questions you got into the chat tool, and Mania and I will read those later to our guest live. Michael and Philipp will be here with us in the Dev Lab. But next we have a great customer interview. Fielmann was mentioned. Actually, all the customers that were mentioned there, I've actually had personal interaction with. I've eaten at Mod Pizza and Nestle. Fielmann I walked into the other day in Heidelberg. I happened to be there. So let's roll the video with Fielmann.
Hello, this is Katrin von Asen. I'm a Chief Product Expert at the Cross-Architecture Unit at SAP. Today I have Thorsten Dübelmeier with me. He's an SAP Solution Architect and Product Owner Cloud Technology at Fielmann. Hello Thorsten, greetings to Hamburg.
Hi Katrin, nice to hear you.
As part of this interview, we will talk about the SAP Integration Solution Advisory Methodology, or in short, just simply ISAM. But before diving into the details of the methodology, it would be great, Thorsten, if you could briefly introduce us to Fielmann and describe how you are driving integrations.
Yeah, sure, would like to do it. So I think in Germany, Fielmann is quite low. So no, as far as I know, 90% of all the people in Germany know Fielmann, and we are growing across Europe. That's also part of our strategy, growing across Europe and building some omni-channel. But now for the rest of the world, I will do some sentences about Fielmann that you know. With what company is it based? You know, you're talking to. So I think Fielmann is founded in 1972 by Günther Fielmann, and then starting to bring fashionable eyewear, what is that, and was not there before, to all the people in Central Europe. So now today we are something like a market leader in Germany. So nearly all people know Fielmann. I think every second pair of glasses is then sold by Fielmann today. And in 1994, then we are on a stock market in Germany. So in the last years, we are more and more rising this omnichannel approach and also continue growing. That's what mainly in parallel when Mark Fielmann took over the Fielmann group from his father, Mark Fielmann. So in the integration world, we started in a year, something like some years ago in 1995, where we had our first SAP system. I think there was a starting point of integration for orders, for master data. And from there, continuously, the world is then growing with different tools and different interfaces. And some, perhaps not of the really old ones, but from the last 10 years, we have a lot of zoo of tools and zoo of mechanism, but it's getting more and more complex to find people to support it, and it takes a lot of effort. So our ideas then, what we also then found in the last year when we did our PO migration, that we need some clear strategy, some vision, how should then integration be done in the future, because the world is complex today, but could be more complex in the future. There are a lot of systems today, but even more services perhaps in the future. So also integration part, when we need a stable backbone for integration and open for modern new services, we wanted to find a clear strategy with clear patterns and to get rid away of these really big zoo where all these data arises.
Yeah, great. So to hear that Fielmann is currently undergoing a digital transformation, and here we are offering the integration strategy, and an integral part of that is the SAP Integration Solution Advisor methodology. And the nice thing of the methodology, it helps where our customers are today. So it addresses actually the integration needs in diverse environments, as just outlined, right? So where you have a mix of on-premise applications and cloud applications, it's open to support also SAP and non-SAP applications and integration technologies. Let me share with you some details about the methodology as such. So the purpose is to raise the integration maturity level of an organization with a well-defined governed approach. So the methodology offers a framework which is structured along 4 use cases. First, you start with an assessment of your integration strategy with the help of a guided scoping approach. The second step then is to design your hybrid integration platform by leveraging patterns provided by us, covering various integration styles such as process, data, user analytics, and the Internet of Things integration. The third use case is about defining integration best practices, for instance, by reusing architecture blueprints, which we are offering, which you can also adapt and enhance according to your needs. The fourth use case is to enable the practice of empowerment. So here we are covering the organizational aspects of enterprise integration. So we are here covering topics like integration governance, integration enablement across the organization, integration quality assurance, and more. Yeah, so that's actually the benefits of the methodology, that you can also start pretty small and grow over time. We see lots of customers starting, for instance, with a single integration style like process integration and expanding the scope over time, for instance, towards data integration. Thorsten, could you, for instance, share with us some more details about how Fielmann has applied the methodology and its business benefits?
Yeah, it's also like, it's very similar to what you described. So we started quite with an overview, so we started quite small, so that we gave a big picture of what applications are in the Fielmann world. So we have our own applications built on our own in AWS, we have SAP applications on-premise, and more also in the BTP. And we have some SaaS services, public cloud services. So today, a lot of on-premise world, but the cloud world, especially the own build cloud world, is quite growing. So the first step was to really draw a picture. What do we have? What our requirements are, so that to fulfill our cloud first approach. If we go also with the cloud, they have some values in regarding of security. But more, the idea was then to give at first an overview, and then we skipped a little bit of the part in between and really came to really ideas how to handle it. So what would be the jobs of the teams, but also to give a clear to the developer, a clear guidance how to implement interfaces for in the future. So there the idea is not to really don't have these file-based hopping of different tools, but more or less a clear pattern how to handle interface. So basically for the SAP system, we will draw like an API over all SAP systems that you can really do modern integration, fast integration. And we have a tough security layer and not this VPN and proxy and firewall handling that we have also simple and clear security. And we have a modern integration, so more like a modern integration platform. We don't have these manual approaches, manual doing, and also this infrastructure doing. So the idea is to do as much as possible by somebody else who can do it, all this upgrading and patching of the platform. And there we stated out some ideas how to handle it. One most important for us was this cloud to on-premise approach. We have this API layer in between where we have a lot of CI/CD, deploying, automated testing. And there we didn't speed up or would like to build a modern platform to be secure for the next 5, 10 or whatever. We'll see 15 years to have a clear approach. So for the ISRM, we really like this content. It really helps us to not start with an empty piece of paper, but then do that as starting point and then really build concrete patterns, what we're trying to implement now. And I think in the next months or years, we'll then do some more work also for the other styles and then also try to address it in our projects.
Yeah, great. So many thanks for sharing with us these insights, how you implemented or your team adopted the integration methodology at Fielmann in order actually to support the digital transformation journey of your organization. So really appreciate it. So we are actually continuously enhancing and evolving the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology based on customer feedback. Based on this feedback, we intend to also deliver new innovations for the methodology along our core integration product, which is the SAP Integration Suite. If you would like to know more about these plans, I would recommend to check out the lecture, Get the Big Picture of SAP Integration Suite, which is also presented at SAP TechEd. So with that, we are actually done with this interview. So many thanks for joining us. Have a great day and goodbye.
Also, thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thanks, Katrin. Thanks, Torsten. Let's move on with our next topic. We now get a glimpse of the future direction for distributed task management, something that was mentioned in the strategy talk. So let's see a demo of SAP Task Center now.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another session at SAP TechEd 2021. My name is Benita George and together with me presenting in the session is my colleague Ivan Joshev, who is the product owner for SAP Task Center.
Hi everybody.
Let me start by giving you a brief overview about the product. SAP Task Center is an infrastructure kernel service which runs on Business Technology Platform, or in short BTP. The goal of this product is to enable business users to manage all their workflow tasks in one centralized inbox. This is achieved by integrating tasks from multiple SAP applications, both cloud and on-premise. The product is planned to be available by 21/11 or November 2021. I now hand over the presentation to my colleague Ivan, who would be demonstrating a customer story in connection with SAP Task Center. Over to you, Ivan.
Thank you, Benita. And now let me introduce you to Nolan. He's a project manager and somebody that is mostly on the move and spent most of his time with a customer on site and jumping from one meeting to another. He doesn't get much spare time for administrative tasks, although he's aware that these tasks are important for the business to run seamlessly. The nature of his work does not allow him to spend a lot of time in front of his computer or phone. Now, no one is based in London, and he is on his way to the airport to board a flight to Frankfurt for another customer meeting that is planned for the next day. He has some time to spare during his journey, and this is when SAP Task Center comes into the picture. Now you have the intelligent enterprise on the fingertips of every SAP user, and no one can find all the tasks that are pending his action in one place. All the tasks are inside SAP Mobile Start, and no one can find them in his to-do section. Workflow tasks from multiple SAP solutions are gathered in one list by the SAP Task Center service and ready to be processed just with one click. In one place, no one can find the task from S/4HANA Cloud, Concur, Ariba, Fieldglass, and SuccessFactors, and they have seamless and integrated user experience on mobile and web. From the to-do screen, no one can not only view all the tasks that are assigned to him, but also quickly to process them with the help of quick actions available for each item. When he taps on the three gray dots in the right corner of a task tile, he will see a list of all available actions for the selected task. Of course, if no one needs more information about this task, then he can tap on the tile and see the details information. Now, no one remembers that his colleague Kitty has couple leave requests that are pending his actions and that she is also going soon on maternity leave. The time requested for the maternity leave looks suspiciously short, so no one will open the details screen to check the rest of the information. He checks the detailed information, he opens the audit trail, and as he wants to make sure that the duration of the maternity leave is really 10 days, and there was no mistake when the task was created, he will send it back to his colleague Kitty. After no one processes this task, it will disappear from his to-do screen, and at the same time, the same leave request will be sent to SuccessFactors, where Kitty originally created her request. Then she will be able to see the status and the comments provided by no one. That will allow her very easily to validate the information and send it back to no one. Now, no one utilized the time while he was in the cab and can continue with the rest of his tasks from the airport.
Thank you, Ivan. So now let us look at when and how Nolan uses SAP Task Center web app via his computer. Now that Nolan has reached the airport and he has some time to spare before he boards the flight, he opens SAP Task Center on his computer and finishes approval of one more task from his team member, Louis McCann, which needed his immediate attention. Let's look at how he performs this action on his computer. So this is a Task Center tile available via Central Fiori Launchpad. The logged on user is Nolan Waters, who is a product manager, and he has 18 tasks to be approved. He opens SAP Task Center Web UI. He has 18 tasks which need his attention. He can scroll down to look at all these tasks here. The tasks are fetched in real time since HANA database is used. It ensures high availability and good performance. Let's look at the various options Nolan has in the Task Center Web UI. On the top, there are various filter tabs available like SAP Concur, S/4HANA Cloud, Ariba, Fieldglass, SuccessFactors, and others. These tabs represent different destinations and service providers from where the tasks are fetched. These tabs are configurable by the administrator. Precise filtering is also available. For example, tasks from Ariba can be viewed separately or tasks from Fieldglass can be viewed separately too. On to the right is an option to refresh tasks. This would allow the business users to refresh their entire task list manually. Automatic refresh also happens on a regular basis. This refresh functionality fetches the task from SAP Task Center's cache and updates the list in this web UI. He can choose to personalize the look and feel of the columns too. For example, he has a possibility to choose the columns to be displayed in the UI. Priority, status, and so on can be enabled or disabled. The columns can be sorted in ascending or descending order, as you can see here. The filters can be further adopted, for example, based on priority, very high, high, medium, and low. Even task types can be adopted. These are different task types coming from backend systems available for each of the tasks. They are dynamically loaded. So now Nolan needs to approve a purchase requisition task coming from Ariba system. This request is initiated by one of his team members, Louis McCann. For quick filtering, he clicks on Ariba and selects Procurement Purchase Requisition as task type and clicks on Go. Now he sees additional custom attributes for the task type procurement purchase requisition. He clicks on the task from Louis that needs approval. He reads through the details mentioned, which states that this is a request for procuring laptop batteries. But Nolan feels the need to look at additional task details and line items pertaining to this request. So he opens the tasks and verifies all the task details once again, like the total amount, the line items, and so on. Nolan also checks if there are additional comments or attachments for this request. Okay, so all the information seemed to be correct. Nolan also has the option to verify the task details directly from Ariba system by clicking on Open Tasks. But he doesn't choose to approve from here since Task Center provides all the required information already. Now Nolan approves the request. He clicks on Approve, adds a comment, and clicks on Submit. And the task disappears from the list. Now the total number of tasks that need to be approved have reduced from 18 to 17. So now Nolan gets ready to board the flight. To summarize the story, Nolan utilized his time well during his journey to the airport by using mobile app of SAP Task Center and at the airport by using web app version of SAP Task Center via his computer. This brought in a positive business impact since he could finish few approvals during his journey, which needed immediate attention. Sharing with you the status and the vision we have for our product SAP Task Center. Our vision is to have one centralized inbox for all SAP applications, supporting all SAP approval tasks across LOBs. Further integration with Launchpad and One Procurement is also planned. We also plan to support third-party approval tasks. The status, or what we've achieved so far, we have shipped a product for the early adopter care customers. In this program, we support more than 30 approval workflows, covering 5 LOBs like SAP Ariba, SAP Concur, SAP Fieldglass, SAP SuccessFactors, S/4HANA Cloud. We support in-place actions, task details, custom attributes, and so on. Sharing with you the timelines. In 2020, we released beta version of SAP Task Center with 2 task providers. Kernel service and web app was implemented and 4 task provider interfaces were implemented for Ariba, Concur, Fieldglass, and SuccessFactors. In 2105 this year, we released our product to the early adopter care customers. We plan to onboard up to 10 customers for this program. IPS connectors and SCIM APIs for 5 LOBs were also delivered in 2105. In 2108, use case coverage was further extended. Comments and attachments are supported. The SAP Task Center administration app is also available now. This app helps administrators to monitor the configured task provider destinations. In 2111, we plan to have our GA release. Use case coverage would be further extended. Mobile version of SAP Task Center will also be available to the customers as part of SAP Mobile Start. We have greater vision for 2022. We plan to have substitution management, third-party task provider support, LOB and use case coverage extension. We will be supporting integrations with S/4HANA on-prem as task provider. We plan to support SAP Workflow Management as task provider, email and shell notifications, and finally, intelligent approvals like including anomaly detection and risk mitigation. We hope that you get to experience the advantages of SAP Task Center at your organization. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you from my side and have a nice day.
Bye.
Hey, and welcome back in the Developer Lab. So that was a great demo and outlook of SAP Task Center, a web application that provides you access to solutions like SuccessFactors, Ariba, all in one to access and manage your tasks. Josh, I think we have another topic, and that actually is something with live participants, which means the audience you guys need to ask questions.
Yeah, we do a lot of these live Q&As throughout TechEd, And that was one of the things we wanted to add more of from last year. It was very popular, people liked it. And when you've got live Q&A, and I know that the experts are out there to answer your questions, they can't get to everything, we want to fill up the queue with questions. So for any of the live Q&As you're attending, there is a chat tool as well, so if your question doesn't get answered, hopefully somebody can follow up with you. But I know specifically Michael and Philip are going to want to answer as many questions as they can during this session. They're here for you, and a lot of the comments I see that are very positive on social media are about the fact that you have access to the developers, and you can actually ask your questions or the team of the developers via these tools live. So please submit your questions. And with that, I think we should introduce our guests. I hope they're ready. We are going to have Philip and Michael for our live Q&A. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh,
Nice.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Taking it.
Very good. And that was a pretty jam-packed hour of content. We covered a lot of things there. I mentioned earlier that I saw Fielmann for the first time, being that I'm from America, and got to go into their eyeglass stores. But I knew Nestle pretty well and Mod Pizza already. I've eaten plenty of that. So, but hopefully you guys are ready to dive into the integration topic. We have a lot of people that love this topic. I personally used to be in pre-sales myself for SAP, and I loved when we had all these different cloud products working together for our customers. And that is one of the most beneficial things, when the customers get to see all of our cloud products working together and integrating to SAP and non-SAP things. So with that said, Menina, do you want to ask the first question of these guys?
Yeah, I can. There's one I can ask you from the audience. So one of the tricky things about SAP taking advantage of cloud cross-application tools is that they have different release dates, patching schedules. How do we best manage the risks associated with this?
Michael, I can take it if you want. So yes, for sure. So first of all, we need to acknowledge this. This is also, I mean, we need to.
No phone is connected.
So one of the reasons for sure why this is also there's for the various products, of course, also certain drivers, right? Why the upgrades, for example, in S4, for example, are different also to SuccessFactors, right? Because different events throughout the year, customers were very in the past years very keen on also being part of this process. Okay, when do we upgrade those systems? But for sure, I fully understand at the same time, right? When we have these cross integrations like the Task Center, for example, CPI, master data integration, and many others that we've talked about, that can be a challenge when those systems are changing independently from each other. And that is for sure why we, on the one hand side, for sure, SAP is getting better on its way of keeping APIs, for example, stable, right? So that they are upgrade safe. But at the same time, right, it's also on the customer. And this is what you as a customer can actually do, is actually to use the public and stable APIs that are, for example, part of the API Business Hub, because here we really expose a stability contract independent of which of the upgrade releases, so to speak, right? Because there we also have deprecation policies in place, or when we add a new field, or when we say, okay, there's a new API that may be a successor of another API, and then there's a clear deprecation policy in place. And if it's not, then we're for sure happy about the feedback. But for sure, what is very important in this anti-integration extensibility topic across our product is to use the public stable APIs that we are publishing on the API Business Hub, because those APIs really qualify for a higher level of stability. For sure, you need to understand if you tap into, let's say, more private APIs, APIs that are not specifically for the purpose. Then you use them kind of also at your own risk, and then for sure you somehow need to create little whatever classes or some code to mitigate that risk, to buffer that risk, and manage that life cycle partially yourself. Yeah. But for sure it goes together. So on the one hand side, we are publishing more of these stable APIs on all the applications, but going forward, that is also what you should as a customer use more and more as well.
Awesome. Great answer. Thank you so much. We do have questions starting to stack up, so I'm going to jump right into the next question, guys. Last, there was talk about another product called SAP OneBox in-service, or One Inbox Service from Workflow Services. Is this the same renamed as SAP Task Center now? Because that also had the same vision and strategy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe I can shortly answer and maybe refer to the integration strategy paper, which we mentioned in the beginning. Also, there we initially talked about the one inbox service, and now the technical or the release, how we named this, is basically SAP Task Center, which basically ends up in delivering the suite quality of, let's say, having one inbox or one workflow inbox for our end customers.
Perfect.
Now, will the SAP Task Center support S/4HANA on-premise? That's a follow-up question here from the audience.
Yes, it will support also on-premise as part of that release. And also in the cloud, because there's also some questions we have already received with respect to, for example, single tenant edition or now S/4HANA Cloud Extended versus Essentials and so on. So all these versions, as well as private cloud edition, are supported as of this release. Yes.
Thank you, Philipp. Just a reminder for the audience, some of you might be watching from Twitter, from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. It's important that you switch to the events platform. So go to saptechhead.com and sign up for the session so you can have access to the questions and answers tool for you to submit them. Just a short reminder here.
Speaking of which, I have one queued up from the tool. I think both of you can answer this, or you can fight it out as to who goes first. But its integration was a focus topic already at last year's Tech Ed, and it's still a topic in 2021 we're talking about a year later. What has changed and what's the progress?
Maybe I can shortly start and we fight it out. So I mean, the first message we need to tell here, of course, we continues on our integration journey, right? So I mean, we set out the integration strategy paper with an according roadmap in the beginning of 2020, right? So with a long roadmap, I mentioned the suite qualities, but we also need to look at the functional integration along the four end-to-end business processes, so lead to cash, design to operate, recruit, retire, and the like. So we are continuing on that promise. And as you have seen now, this SAP Task Center, this is one. You have seen that now SAP Analytics Cloud is now integrated in plenty of applications, and so on. But even more, so we are adding even additional, let's say, processes like external workforce management as an example, which we are adding in here. So we are not only continuing, but we are also adding, of course, the scope. And maybe what has changed, I mean, in the beginning, you might have known, we heard, of course, a lot of the feedback was on, okay, we are focusing on cloud mainly in the beginning. This has changed, and of course, we are reflecting, of course, the landscapes of our customers, which are indeed hybrid. So here, Philipp mentioned just the integration of S/4HANA on-premise. So of course, the focus is here also to deliver and include, let's say, basically the on-premise scenarios in the hybrid landscapes of the customers.
Okay, Philipp?
Yeah, and maybe just to add a few things also from the application side of the house. Yeah, so for sure, this entire integration journey, I mean, there is really no limit on how far we can and will take it. It's very simple because, I mean, in the past years, we were mainly focusing on, I would rather call it table stakes or the bread and butter integrations that we solve. But now actually that this is in place, we can really focus also on integrations that are actually innovations. Yeah. Take, for example, we delivered this earlier this year, this full integration of the solution order, where you have in one solution order where you can have multiple things, services, subscription, classical sales orders, whatever, all in one package, right? That is now possible thanks to the very heterogeneous or application portfolio that we have, which we are combining. When we look at how we can now actually combine internal workforce management and external workforce management via SuccessFactors, Fieldglass, and so on, there is for sure there is the standard process that everybody expects from SAP. But for sure there are more process variants, yeah, where larger customers in a certain industry and so on, right? They have little different workflows here and there. So we are concentrating really now on those more. I would say, okay, look, here's actually a great scenario that enables customers to even achieve more in less time and really focus and use the basis that we have created over the past years to actually now move towards a rather innovation layer, so to speak, right? Where the integrations that we're delivering is not like, oh, okay, we should have done this maybe earlier, but this is really like, oh, okay, now this is actually working. This is great because that is what I was always waiting for, and only SAP can can deliver that by combining this very broad application portfolio. And this is what we are now focusing on step by step more, in addition to what Michael already said.
Yeah, you 100%. So I also think you're a poker player like me if you say table stakes. So we can go play a game together where we say, if you have technologies talking to each other, they should just work, right? This is how it should happen. So I 100%, and the customers and having customer references beyond anything else resonates more because they see it working with the products they're using from SAP. So
Correct.
thank you for that. And Nina, I think you have the next question.
Yeah, it's related to SAP Mobile Start, and I know we have sessions later on in Channel 1 as well. Will SAP Mobile Start be made available omni-channel?
As the only channel, or as the omni channel?
Omni-channel.
So, I mean, Mobile Start is already available, and we are expanding it, right? We have with this quarter actually delivered. We already created content for key roles in Mobile Start for financial managers, retail store managers, and others. We are now delivering even more roles. And yes, going forward, the Mobile Start application is our central, for the mobile space, the central entry point and the single place where all the applications will come together, and from which you can tap into SuccessFactors, you can tap into S4HANA Fiori applications, you can tap into Concur applications, et cetera, et cetera. As I said, now the Task Center, we will move the what we call micro experience step by step. So these little tiny things you do very often on a daily basis, such as approving workflows, for example, or filing a leave request, other things, we will move them step by step into this Mobile Start application, and by this lead with this application to harmonize our application portfolio in the mobile space and bring those capabilities step by step, either directly into this Mobile Start application or provide sensible jump-off points into the underlying mobile applications in case some, let's say, more specific or special functions are necessary from existing mobile applications such as the SuccessFactors application.
Right. Maybe to add to this, Philip, I think the most important point is here, try it out, right? You said it's available, so try it out, and the same applies, we mentioned this earlier, right? So also a lot of services and what we are talking about, there's free tier available, for example, on the business technology platform services, also announced in the news guide. And I mean, that's basically the task for you, right? So try it out, so the mobile application and of course the other integration works. But of course there's one prerequisite which I need to re-emphasize, right? So that you update also, let's say, in your landscapes to the according, because this is when you want to benefit from the integration works, which we talked about, obviously, there needs to be also to upgrade to the latest system.
Awesome. I'm going to squeeze one last quick question in, I hope. We are using SAP PO. Shall we start thinking to migrate to CPI, or SAP PI can be used on BTP?
So maybe I can take that. I mean, this clearly goes into the direction of SAP Integration Suite, right? I mean, here, of course, what we delivered, and you see also in the news guide, even as the SAP Integration Suite, now in additional environments and the like, this is definitely something you should look on. If you want to have the big picture, I mean, we referred in the beginning also to the CIO guides on hybrid integration. This gives you the big picture, when to use what actually. So when it comes to CPI, PO, and also all additional integration, tooling, and technology. So this would be my first reference where I would like
awesome.
To look for you.
Thank you. Any last words, Philip? I think we are almost out of time.
No, I mean, thank you so much for dialing in and having us today here. So really, it was really a pleasure, and I'm really excited. So I hope you had already or continue to have a great TechEd, and check out all the great stuff that SAP has just created over the last year, including integration, but also for sure all the other tech topics that you're interested on. So thank you so much for dialing in, and talk to you next time. It was really a great session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to that point, real quick, I want to just rattle off a couple of session titles. DT 110, Integration and Openness for SAP S4HANA. IIS 105, Simplify Onboarding with the Cloud Integration Automation Service. And IIS 106, power the recruit to retire business process with an aligned data model. So lots of great sessions that people can join related specifically to the integration topic we just talked about. What else is coming up, Menina?
Highlights and recommendations from me. But it's good that we just saw it on screen as well, because it was super fast and easy. Not so easy to, of course, remember, but there's also always a way for you to check out on the SAP events, SAP TechEd event platform, where you can go to the session catalog and type in integration, and you will find the sessions as well. Well, recommendations, keep learning. Also on the events platform is where you can learn more, deep dive about the topic integration. We have a great SAP integration strategy community topic page. So if you go to community.sap.com and click on topics, find the integration strategy topic page, and this is where you'll find the strategy paper that Michael outlined, but also upcoming community calls, as Katrin von Aßen, who we saw in the customer interview, has a lot of sessions already prepared, and you can see the recordings of integration. Yeah, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that with rattling off these sessions you can attend, sometimes it's important to look at the why you want to join them. And I think if you look at the logical step of diving deep into the topics and understanding how integrations work, that's why DT110 is so important. It's really getting in there with Nestle and understanding what the customer did. So I stressed that earlier with Michael and Philip, that the customer stories really resonate, and they want you to watch these videos and follow up with them and really try it out. So whatever the customer did may be a different landscape than what you're using, but a similar use case. So try these things out. It's really important that you enjoy trying the technology and giving us feedback, because we can't make it better if we don't hear back from you. So we know that we don't have a shy audience in the SAP TechEd community. So go there, even try out the new groups feature. I think we have a way to start a conversation around things.
Yeah.
You can start an integration group.
Integration group. You can go into the SAP TechEd group, learning group, check out what's there.
I'm getting a little sad, I'm sorry, but
What?
I think we're almost out of time for this hour that we're together. Is it really coming to an end soon?
No.
No?
Yes, it is, but the sessions, workshops, we have workshops with unlimited seats. Have a look at those. Session recommendations coming from our SAP community influencers, so a lot of things, but yeah, you're right, Josh, we're at the end.
Here comes the
with
next
us. But it was like counting
It's
down.
very quick. It goes fast. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to